and welcome back to more Splatoon 2. Last time we started the single player campaign and got through the first level of Octo Canyon. This time we're tackling our second level, Welcome to Octopia, the Summer Wind Rises. So this level introduces a new mechanic, the sponges from the previous game. Once you break the wall, you can swim up it in squid form ZL. So here are the sponges. We just have to ink them, and then they can serve a variety of purposes, such as shields, and also platforms that we can swim up. Strong work, Agent. So the sponges were not really used in Splatoon 1 very much. I can only think of like maybe 2 or 3 levels at most where they're actually used. This game fixes that problem, as they're actually used quite extensively. This is a general theme with this game's single players. It actually expands really well on some mechanics that were actually kind of underutilized in the first game. And I really like that about this game. Octotroopers up on that grate over there. Good to know. Grates mean we can actually fire ink, so we can actually attack from below, but they can also attack from above, so apparently we didn't need the high ground. Got extra armor here, and we can swim up this wall, like so. But before we swim up this next segment, we actually want to come down here, where we can find our sunken scroll. Also, we can quickly ink the wall like that, and if we go even further up, we can find more collectibles. Use some kind of completionist or something. Actually, kind of yes, because this is a 100% run of Splatoon 2. We kind of have to be a completionist. Good stuff. Strong work. A lot of our dialogue repeats, but again, on the whole, it is definitely better than Cuttlefish in the last game, in terms of just overall writing. That's a squeegee, they suck up ink, but they're pretty harmless. So if we try to shoot ink on this wall to climb up, it will clean off the wall. I'm pretty sure the second level in Splatoon 1 also introduced squeegees, but I might be mistaken. It's been a while since I played Splatoon 1's single player, to be honest. There's not a whole lot to go back to with that particular campaign. Patties and pound, let's go! Let's go indeed. So just gonna deal with all these guys very quickly, and oh, didn't get the balloon. Too bad. Maybe next time. But in any case, before we actually use the launch pad, as usual, we are going to explore a little bit up here. We have the Sardinium of the level, and thus we are actually good to go for collectibles. We can safely resume our journey without having to worry about stopping and searching every nook and cranny, which is always nice. But more power eggs are always good too. It's weirdly quiet. Swim up to a group of baddies and press right stick for a splashdown. The dialogue got interrupted, but the splashdown is another new special that basically wipes out a lot of enemies very quickly in single player. In multiplayer, it's a little bit interesting because you can actually use a splashdown out of a super jump. So if you jump to another player and they're surrounded by a lot of enemies and you have your special charged up, you can actually use a splashdown as sort of a safety move, actually, to land safely. Sort of get everyone else to clear out around the area. Or take out a few other players, whichever, if they cannot get away fast enough. The Zapfish has to be close. Forward! More sponges over here, and more enemies. An Octobomber, gross. Yeah, same. Not really a fan of these enemies. In this case, they go down pretty quickly. Other cases, they are actually kind of difficult to deal with. Just a bit farther, keep going. Now, before we... oh, you can mash B while swimming up these sponges to climb faster. Noted. So again, the big difference in controls is X was jump in the first game, it's actually B in this game. And that's actually good to keep in mind for multiplayer because X is mapped to a different feature, so it is still used, just not for the original intent. Anyway, with that, we have completed the second stage. Music heads are still buzzing over that legendary underground show 2 years ago. Anyone lucky enough to catch DJ Octavio's opening set and the Squid Sisters headlining had their minds blown and their lives changed that night. I think that's referring to the final boss of the first game. But also, if your hero suit gets damaged, submerge yourself in ink. Basically the way this works is if you take enough damage, your hero suit gets damaged and your movement is slowed down. And of course the next few strong hits will be enough to finish you off, and that'll lose you an extra life. Now, if you submerge yourself in ink, it increases the rate at which you gain your armor back. In any case, this is Sunset Octocopter, dash and jump. Sounds like we're doing a lot of dashing and jumping in this part. Step on that dash track, just trust me on this. Okay, if you say so. Gets your ink pumping, huh? Jump over low obstacles with B. Knew that already. So yeah, we have a lot of low jumps. That's kind of interesting. More actual platforming than we're used to in this series. A ride rail, shoot it to turn it on, and jump on and enjoy the ride. So these are basically grind rails, but again, you can't submerge in case you need to hide out or gain ink. So dash panels like that can be used to very quickly maneuver in squid form, as well as just walking into it. I don't know if there's a benefit to one over the other. It feels like the distance is about the same. In terms of regular jumping, you want to squid jump whenever possible because you do jump farther, as Maria is just telling us. Like so, and like so. And conversely, yeah, we're not making that jump as an inkling, we have to be in squid form. And that's how it's done. By the way, you can also jump off of grind rails. We will be doing a lot of that later on. Ink pistons, I don't recommend you touch those. A new stage hazard. They're pretty nasty actually in some later levels, but for now they're not too bad. Got extra armor, always appreciated. And over here we have some more stuff to break. And even further ahead, octocopters splat them out of the sky. We have a Sardinium. So all that's left is the sunken scroll of the level. You have to time this jump here so we don't hit this piston. But other than that, this is a pretty straightforward level. Not too difficult. Timing is key to a long and existent life. Ain't that the truth? So I'm gonna wait for the cycle just to be on the safe side, you know, not taking any chances. And Agent 4 sticks the landing. That we did. So when we break these, we have a wall, but we actually have to time this because we have more pistons to deal with. So we actually have to time our approach. Climb walls faster by mashing B, and that's how you climb. But before we actually use the launch pad, we want to come over here and use this one on the wall, which yes, they still work like normal, and get these sunken scrolls, so we're all good to go for collectibles. Now, when you come over here, more grind rails, yep, you can jump off of them. It is required later on. Launch pads change our grind rail. These Octarians have some new tricks. That they do. It's like they studied the first game and tried to adapt. This is the Stingray. If we use it, it allows us to fire a charged beam of ink that can actually go through walls. And in multiplayer, it highlights players on the other team briefly before you use it, if I'm not mistaken. So it's actually effective for defeating other players, not so much for ink coverage. But if, of course, you shoot through a wall and it's possible to ink that particular wall, it will cover that in ink. So it is somewhat useful, but it's mostly for players who play more aggressively than for turf coverage. There are two types of Splatoon players, those who go for turf coverage and those who go for kills, and it takes a decent balance of both to be a pretty solid team. I've seen teams that just kind of focus only on turf and kind of not do so well, because they're easily picked off by the other players, but conversely, if you don't ink the ground enough, then you can also get easily swarmed by players who are more focusing on turfing. Not that we're talking about the multiplayer yet, but we have finished level 1-3. And also you get bonus power eggs if you actually finish with armor and a special, so we got a 10 bonus. Not bad. And the boss kettle is opening up because we finished the 3 levels. We're moving! Ammo Knights will be moving to a new location soon. Many thanks to our loyal customers for your support. Ammo Knights being the weapon store from the first game. Boss kettle's open. You've got this, Agent 4. Hope I do. By the way, you can also talk to Marie at any time. She kind of just cruises around the various hub worlds. So I can't believe you've never heard of the Squid Sisters. You're messing with me, right? Man, Octarians are so weird with their creepy floating platforms everywhere. I'd ask you what your multiplayer rank is, but I don't want to demoralize you. And on that note, let us go fight the boss. Industrial toast into the octo oven. What could this even be, you may be asking? 425 degrees of pain, the octo oven. Looks like the tentacle up there is the source of the trouble. So yes, we're literally fighting an oven. Has been taken over by Octarians. So I never eat the end slices. Good advice, I guess. So to defeat this boss, we need to climb up and defeat the tentacle at the top, like so. This first phase is pretty straightforward. Do not stop. You need to keep going. All the puns. But it gets a little bit tougher in phase 2. Those steel parts do not let you ink them, so we have to actually use a couple more of the loaves to get higher. Churros. Not quite. A few walls on the oven to climb now, exactly. So we need to instead use our jumping skills, like so, and now we can easily reach the top. Good, but do not start loafing around or things might go awry. All the puns. And now the loaves themselves are armored, so we can only ink very specific parts of them. Armored bread, but armor on bread? Some kind of glazing machine has appeared. That is not the kind of glazing we want. Well, more so, we don't want to be glazed in Octarian ink. So once it stops doing that, it will start doing its regular attack pattern, but it will actually do it 3 times rather than... or 4 times rather than 3, so that's an extra phase right there. And now we should be able to climb up, no problem. Like so. And with this, we should be at the end of the fight. Not too bad for a first boss. This guy's toast. On the whole though, these bosses are actually really good. All of the bosses, I say, are pretty solid and creative and just fun. I mean, to be fair, Splatoon 1 also had really good bosses, so it's kind of expected. Yeah, the bosses are actually pretty fun. Got a Sardinian for our trouble, and we have the Zapfish. 2 minutes. Not bad. Good work, Agent 4. I sure know how to pick 'em. Gotta hand it to the Octarians, though. I didn't expect them to have fully operational Octobosses at their disposal. I think it's time to call in the big guns. Let's see here. Sheldon, can you hear me? Over? I hear you loud and clear, Marie. Over. Oh man, this is so cool. Agent 4, I'm Sheldon from Ammonites, the only weapon shop in Inkopolis with over 542 million years of trusted service. That's right, stop by Ammonites in Inkopolis Square for all your weapon needs. Tell me Sheldon sent ya. Marie told me everything. To think that my signature weapons can be of help to the new Squidbeak Splatoon. I'm honored. But I'm afraid I can't just let you treat my vast arsenal like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I do have a business to run, you know. So, let's help each other out. I want you to help me test out some new weapons I'm currently developing. All you have to do is use them in real-world conditions. If you'll do that for me, I'll be able to gather all sorts of amazing data. The data will help me get the approvals I need to make retail versions of the weapons. And once the retail versions are out, you can use them in turf wars battles. And it's a real win-win, don't you think? Oh yeah, and... okay, down boy, I think Agent 4 gets the point. Let's get back to work, Agent 4. Stay fresh. Good news, you can now use my Ammonites Enhancifier next to Cuttlefish Cabin. It's a top-of-the-line vending machine that can enhance your weapons and add bombs to your arsenal. The Enhancifier doesn't take cash, it takes power eggs and sardinium instead. We don't actually have enough for it, though. It's only going to get tougher, Agent 4. You'll need to upgrade your gear with the Ammonites Enhancifier. Before we end off this part, let's go see what awaits us at Suction Cup Lookout. In this case, we have 6 Zapfish to save before the boss kettle opens up, and as usual for this series, we need to find the entrances, but I'm not gonna make you sit through me trying to find everything in the overworld. We'll be doing that next time, so thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Splatoon 2.